Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am absolutely pumped to have you here today because we are going to completely flip the script on how you think about wealth. I want to hook you right out of the gate with a massive promise. Your financial success is almost entirely about your behavior, not your raw intelligence. We're so conditioned to think that wealth belongs to the math geniuses and Wall Street wizards, but the truth is far more fascinating and honestly, a whole lot more accessible for the rest of us.
Let's just jump right into an absolutely wild contrast. On one side, we have Ronald Reed. He was born in rural Vermont, worked as a janitor, and pumped gas. He was literally the first person in his family to even graduate high school. Now, on the other side, we have Richard Fosconi. He was a Harvard-educated executive at Merrill Lynch, equipped with a fancy MBA, and constantly praised for his brilliant business savvy. Now, you'd naturally assume the financial executive had the wildly successful retirement, right? Well, shockingly, Fosconi actually had to declare bankruptcy, and his mansions were sold off in foreclosure auctions.
Meanwhile, Ronald Reed, the janitor, he died with a staggering $8 million. $8 million! He left millions to his local hospital and library. How did he do it? He just saved what little he could, bought blue chip stocks, and patiently waited for decades. And this brilliantly illustrates a core truth. Investing is the rare field where your pedigree, your background, and your formal education do not dictate your final outcome. So, welcome to Learn with Naitik. What we're doing today is breaking down the core thesis of Morgan Housel's phenomenal work. The main idea here is that doing well with money is a soft skill, not a hard science. It's all about mindset over math. How you behave is fundamentally way more important than what you actually know. To master this soft skill, here is the agenda for our explainer today. We are looking at 4 core pillars: the magic of compounding, luck and risk, the survival mindset, and invisible wealth. Okay, let's kick things off with Chapter 1, the magic of compounding and shifting your perspective. Human brains are basically hardwired to misunderstand the math of exponential growth. We think linearly, and because of that, we vastly underestimate the sheer power of time. To show you exactly what I mean, try calculating this massive multiplication problem in your head. 8 multiplied by itself 9 times. If I just asked you to add 8 plus 8 9 times, you'd quickly say 72, right? That's linear thinking. But compounding multiplies. So take a guess. What happens when you compound that 8? Boom! Over 134 million. Crazy, right? This explosive number shows that consistent long-term investing creates unimaginable growth that goes completely against our natural gut instincts. The key to Warren Buffett's incredible success isn't just that he's a good investor. It's that he's been investing consistently for 3/4 of a century. Time is the secret ingredient that lets compounding just run wild. Moving right along to Chapter 2, Luck and Risk, the siblings of outcomes. It is so tempting to look at successful people and try to just copy their exact moves, but we often miss the invisible forces at play behind the scenes. Luck and risk are essentially siblings. The reality is that every single outcome in life is guided by forces way outside our individual effort. You're playing a game with billions of other people and infinite moving parts. Someone might make a totally reckless decision and get incredibly lucky, landing right on the cover of Forbes, while another person might make a brilliant, calculated decision and get completely wiped out by unforeseeable risk. Which actually brings us to a really powerful quote from Bill Gates. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. Use this as a mental anchor. The absolute crucial point here is that we have to embrace humility. We can never judge our successes entirely on our own skill, because luck definitely played a part. And equally, we shouldn't judge our failures entirely on bad decisions, because risk is just a reality of the system. Forgive yourself when things go wrong, and hey, stay humble when things go right. All right, pillar number 3, the survival mindset and playing the long game. There is this massive, massive psychological difference between making money and actually keeping it over the long haul. Capitalism is tough, and there's a surprisingly high turnover rate among the wealthy. Because getting wealthy and staying wealthy are 2 entirely different skill sets. Getting wealthy requires taking risks, swinging for the fences, and having deep optimism. But staying wealthy, that requires the exact opposite. It requires a bit of paranoia, some frugality, and a strict survival mindset. You literally have to be terrified that what you've made can be taken away. You don't need to be a genius to keep your money. You just need to avoid screwing up and wiping out, so you can stay in the game long enough for that compounding we talked about to work its magic.
Hey, real quick, if you're finding this explainer valuable, take just a second right now to hit that subscribe button for Learn with Naitik. We are super dedicated to helping you master this exact financial survival mindset, and you definitely don't want to miss our future masterclasses on wealth building. So hit subscribe and let's keep growing together.
And that brings us to our final chapter, invisible wealth and redefining true riches. Society basically trains us from day one to judge financial success by what we can literally see, but we need to redefine what true financial freedom actually looks like. The crucial takeaway here is differentiating between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich simply means you have a high current income. You drive a $100,000 car, you have a huge mortgage on a massive house. It's visible. But wealth is hidden. Wealth is the car you didn't buy, the upgrade you declined. Wealth is the financial assets that haven't been converted into physical stuff. Wealth is what provides you with options and flexibility for the future.
I absolutely love this story. So, when the singer Rihanna almost went bankrupt from overspending, she actually sued her financial advisor. His response in court was legendary. Was it really necessary to tell her that if you spend money on things, you will end up with the things and not the money? It's funny, but it points out the ultimate irony, right? Most people who say they want to be millionaires actually just want to spend $1 million. And spending $1 million is literally the exact opposite of being a millionaire.
Okay, time to wrap things up. Let's recap. Master your money mindset.
Because look, learning the psychology is really only half the battle, right? Implementing it is where your life actually changes. You need humility, respecting the massive power of luck and risk, which keeps your ego totally in check. You need time, letting compounding do the heavy lifting so you can buy control over your own schedule. And you need endurance, saving money just to save it, building a margin of safety so you can survive those inevitable downturns. True wealth is created by suppressing what you could buy today so you have options tomorrow.
So, rapid fire recap. First, remember our friend Ronald Reed. Your behavior beats pure math every single time. Second, exponential growth is super unintuitive, so compounding requires immense patience. Third, always respect luck and risk. Nothing is quite as good or as bad as it seems. And finally, remember that wealth is what you don't see. It's the unspent money that actually gives you freedom. To everyone joining us on Learn with Naitik, these are the golden rules that will dictate your personal financial growth. I want to leave you with one final, pretty heavy question today. Will you use your money to buy things today, or will you use it to buy freedom for your future? Because every dollar you earn represents a choice between momentary pleasure and long-term independence. The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. Don't forget to hit subscribe to Learn with Naitik so you never miss an explainer, and go start building your invisible wealth today.